Certainly, the Qumran community observed a feast which sounds very similar in its ritual characteristics to the Last Supper as it is described in the Gospels. The community rule states that when the table has been prepared, the priest shall be the first to stretch out his hand to bless the first fruits of the bread and new wine. And another Qumran text, the Messianic rule, adds, "They shall gather for the common table to eat and to drink new wine. Let no man extend his hand over the first fruits of bread and wine before the priest. Thereafter the Messiah of Israel shall extend his hand over the bread." This text was sufficient to convince even Rome, according to Cardinal Jean Daniel, writing with a nihil obstat from the Vatican. Christ must have celebrated the Last Supper on the eve of Easter. According to the Essenian calendar, one can only imagine the reaction of Father de Vaux and his team on first discovering the seemingly extraordinary parallels between the Qumran text and what was known of early Christianity. It had hitherto been believed that Jesus' teachings were unique, that he admittedly drew on Old Testament sources but wove his references into a message, a gospel, a statement of good news, which had never been enunciated in the world before. Now, however, echoes of that message, and perhaps even of Jesus' drama itself, had been to light among a collection of ancient parchments preserved in the Judean desert. To an agnostic historian, or even to an undogmatic Christian, such a discovery would have been exciting. Indeed, it probably would have been with a certain sacred awe that one handled documents actually dating from the days when Jesus and his followers walked the sands of ancient Palestine, trudging between Galilee and Judea. One would undoubtedly, and with something of a frisson, have felt closer to Jesus himself. The sketchy details of Jesus' drama and milieu would have broken free from the print to which they had been confined for 20 centuries, would have assumed density, texture, solidity. The Dead Sea Scrolls were not like a modern book expounding a controversial thesis. They would comprise first-hand evidence, buttressed by the sturdy struts of 20th century science and scholarship. Even for a non-believer, however, some question of moral responsibility would have arisen, whatever his own skepticism. Could he casually and at a single stroke undermine the faith to which millions clung for solace and consolation? For de Vaux and his colleges, working as representatives of the Roman Catholic Church, it must have seemed as though they were handling the spiritual and religious equivalent of dynamite, something that might just conceivably demolish the entire edifice of Christian teaching and belief.